Stay tuned, stay tuned, stay tuned. I'm here with the coach, John Brent.
And I'm here with the vet, Mr. Ian Griffin. What's going on, buddy? Looking at
Man,
that nice, clean shave.
I know. What do you think? I look like a testicle sack, to be honest, right here.
Easy. No, you don't. Look, hey, I saw you yesterday. When I saw you yesterday, what's the first thing I said to you? I said, you look like you could go drill somebody, like a drill sergeant.
Hell yeah. Let me put my mean face on. So anyway, I forgot our intro. I didn't even play our intro today, so I got to make sure I play the outro. We're just screwing things up. But, man, there is a lot of Shysta Manelli going on. And today, oh, my God, this Afghanistan thing, holy smokes. I mean, it's ridiculous what's being said about all this. And, you know, I'm trying to pull it up because I had it just the other day, is the president came out and said a month ago, something of the nature, we have nothing to worry about. Nothing will ever happen. This shows me he had absolutely no plan whatsoever. None. And he put faith into, let me think of the guy's name. What was the English chancellor's name? What was that guy's name over there? Before Churchill. What was the dude's name? Was it Chamberlain?
Oh,
boy. I don't remember his name. But he goes, we can trust Hitler. And Biden did exactly the same thing. You know, so I'm going to let you talk.
I don't understand it. I mean, I don't 100% blame Biden for the not having a plan. I don't believe there was a real plan enacted for this to end. I do know this, that when we start seeing the Taliban taking over cities and all this stuff, and you're still continually talking about we're going to stay on the plan of getting out, you're setting a precedent that every country that we've helped or help in the future, they're not going to trust us, man. And this has become a weird dynamic.
Yeah, so I will say, some say this is a foreign policy blunder. No, this is a foreign policy catastrophe is what this is. It's as nice as I can put it without using any hyperbole in this. This is his worst foreign policy maneuver we have done that I can think of. To be honest, I can't even think of one that bad in 50 years. Maybe trying to go get the Iranian hostages, the way we went about doing it. I don't know if that even equates to this. It may or may not. Leaving Vietnam, we left with a bad taste in our mouth. We're just reliving the past all over again. And then my deal is with President Biden. So you and I talked about this a bit, and I'll back it up. President Trump came out, and he said, we're going to pull out. And then he lost the election, and he said, I want all the troops out by May. Before then, actually. And then the generals came back and it pushed against him and said, oh, whoa, that's too fast. He said, no, that's the date. So either the generals had confidence enough that they could talk to him that way, one, and they don't have that with Biden. Two, they knew that he was leaving, so he had no impact on their career, and they made that they came together and said that. But it didn't get to Biden that way. You know what I'm saying? Biden came along and said, okay, we had it in May, and we're going to push it to September. And I think the generals personally go, we're not going to win this fight with him, so we're going to have to let him do it. And we can't go against him because we won't see our third and our fourth star, or we won't stay in, because we all know how that happens. And that's a fact. I mean, not a fact, but I believe that's how it is. And at the end of the day, we have no. It is quite apparent that we had nothing if the Taliban moved along, and the Taliban moved along. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, what are your thoughts, Coach?
Well, I mean, you're right about one thing. I mean, what changed 10, 11 months ago when Trump said that, and then they said, no, don't do that in May, to now, it didn't get better. It actually got worse. So if the generals that were in charge then are still in charge now, and they're saying, no, we shouldn't do that because it's going to be a big problem and things have gotten worse, then why would they not speak up now? Or is anything any different? It's no different. What is different is the greatest nightmare of the Taliban taking back over and killing what happens for the last 20 years, Vet, of women's rights and building an army and having elections are gone in a poof. I mean, it's over. They're taking over town after town after town. They're just waiting to take over, the big one right now. But I mean, why can't we, and I think I said this to you, why can't we say, okay, we wanted to leave September because it was our 20-year, and that's really what's best for America itself. But because of what's going on, and we went over to this place, what's best for the world, what then becomes better for America, is for us to stand by those people, and we're going to change our mind, and we're going to send more troops over there, and we're going to make sure that this place is taken care of. What's wrong with that?
I don't think there's anything wrong with it. And I want to throw a caveat here too, is presence matters. And I'm going to say this, and demeanor matters. And as President Obama has said, elections matter. Do I believe that the Taliban would have ran in there as fast as they did with Trump there? No, because he was able to keep the North Korean president in check. He was able to keep the Chinese president in check. But people sense weakness and they exploit it. And the president currently has demonstrated nothing but solid weakness on every matter. Our border, he has created weakness. We had a heads up on the entire world being energy independent in the first time, as being promised for 50 years, the first time, and he gave that up, that leverage up across the world. That matters in a lot of ways more than people realize. And now the Taliban looks at all these other factors and like, he is too busy worried about the military finding some form of freaking white supremacy in the damn thing somewhere so he can push his racist agenda than worrying about what happens in Afghanistan. I mean, to be honest, that's what he just came out. I mean, as soon as the Secretary of Defense stepped in, we're going to go look at all the white supremacist stuff going on, instead of maybe training cold hard killers to go kick enemies' asses. That's our number one priority. Kind of like sending, as I stated before, sending somebody to Iraq, a whole unit to Iraq, instead of issuing ammunition, go do police call first, because that's more important for our national security. That's exactly how the Biden agenda on foreign policy has been. And you think the Taliban doesn't sense weakness? Think about this. The Taliban never attacked a tank directly before 9/11 of the United States. They never attacked a base really directly. They attacked the USS Cole once. I mean, and they did attack it, and people died from that. But what did they attack? Places that we were weak. 9/11, they attacked the places that we were weak. Now that we have given him the weakest president probably in the last 50 years history, and I'm sorry to say it, Jimmy Carter, because he held that title up to then, but Jimmy, I think somebody's taking your place right now. You're a nice guy. You're a nice guy after presidency. You sucked as a president, and you had no kahungas between your legs, to be honest. But this guy is taking your place. Right now, what this is going on, he's on vacation. What the flip-flop? At least come out, call a press conference with your generals, and figure something out. Maybe drop a division, airdrop them in there and go, we're going to handle business. But right now, as you and I have talked, the Taliban is gearing to own a country. That's what they're gearing for. And they're gearing to eliminate the opposition, period. That is what they're gearing for. And now we're sending troops back over there. And what are they gearing for? To hurry, scurry people out of there. We got two entities.
We look weak.
We got two entities going against a different fight. And this fight is ready to rip somebody's head off. And our guys are sitting over there to hurry up and scurry away. That's not a good demeanor to sit in there like that. Jesus, man. So that's just some of my thoughts, Coach. Go ahead. I apologize.
Oh, no, you're good. I mean, some of the things that you have to think about is no one wants American soldiers to die. No one wants anybody to die in the military. But you know what? Sometimes there's missions that have to be done, like D-Day. I'm not saying that Afghanistan is like D-Day. We had to have D-Day. Okay. We knew going into D-Day that people were going to die, but we had to do that. Okay. After 9/11, let's go to 9/11. There's two things that I always look at. Number one, why did we go to Afghanistan? Number one was to find Osama bin Laden. And number two was to make sure that people didn't go into that country and use it as a staging to do more attacks on the United States. So for 20 years, how many attacks have we had inside of the United States from Al-Qaeda or the Taliban? How many? None. So don't call it. I hear people online calling Afghanistan was not only a mistake, but it was a second thing that it was a failed mission. No, it wasn't a failed mission. For 20 years, American bodies have not been blown up in the streets of America. Okay. So now what we've done is we're giving back that country, that area, that staging ground that was stopped in Iraq and in Afghanistan to terrorist organizations that are Muslim extremists that do nothing more than to want to kill Americans and Western people. We're not going to be safer because of this. Just because we don't lose more troops in Afghanistan does not mean that we're going to be safer in our homeland. We're actually going to be worse off in our homeland in the future because we're so weak right now. It is not only ridiculous, but it absolutely is almost to a point where I feel like we are running with our tail between our legs to go back in there to grab our people. And please, please, please don't shoot us while we grab our people. We're the United States of effing freaking America, dude. If we want to go in there and get our freaking people, we can blow up the hell everybody we want to get our effing people. That's what America does. That's what we should do. And it pisses me off that we're having to go in there like, oh, please let us go get our people. F that. Go in there and get our people and let them know the day and the time we're coming.
So, Coach, I agree. And there's a reason why I never ran for president. One, I got too many skeletons in my closet. Two, is the bottom line is I would be too abrupt. I mean, I would bomb the living bejesus out of them. I would airdrop body bags with notes on them saying, you're about to fill these up, mother flippers, in ways you've never seen before. Do psyops on their ass. And then I would drop the whole freaking 82nd All-American Division on their ass and say, your ROE is to kick as many asses as possible. I ain't handcuffing shit, and they can sue me. That would be me as president. That's why I'm not the president. But I will say this. It was apparent that there was no action whatsoever, no plan of action from this current administration at all. And what they did is simply follow the Obama plan leaving Iraq. They repeated it.
Dude, I was going to say.
And think about this. This is our commander-in-chief who is not being commander-in-chief right now. The one thing he is supposed to be. He is supposed to be the commander-in-chief in times like these. And this is our commander-in-chief. And what does he do? I don't like how we treat our foreign adversary, our foreign people. So let's sign the Paris Climate Accord because it costs us a lot of money. And I like giving it all to you guys over in Europe. Let's shut down our pipeline because I like giving Russia some money too. And I want Saudi Arabia and the Middle Eastern countries to pump more oil. He just said that the other day, that he needs the Middle Eastern countries to pump more oil. I don't like hostility, so we're going to pull our people out because that's what's popular, because I'm not actually being president. I just want to follow what's popular because that's what I do. When as a president, you make decisions that's better for the country, and you tell them to kiss your ass when it's popular, because that don't mean a hill of beans. It's about what's best for our country. He's done those three things, but what's the one thing has he done at all that has made us a statue, bring this respectability back to us on the world stage? Not a goddamn thing. He has not done a damn thing that's done that. He has deteriorated in every way. Go ahead.
Well, there's two things I want to say about this. Number one is you're right. There's what he has done is he talks like this and whispers to the camera. So it makes a lot of liberals feel better that we have someone that has sympathy and empathy for the world. But that's not what you need when you have a country and the world that we live in with people trying to effing kill you all the time. So my question to America and the question to everybody should be, would you rather military that is trained for missions go over to Afghanistan and die in a mission to protect this country? Or do you want to bring them all home and let people die in the streets here, innocent women, children, and people, because you didn't protect them over there, and sooner or later you're going to lose fucking people here? Excuse me.
Well, Coach, I'll say this. I am definitely one that I think it's time for us to pull out unless we was going to stay there 60 years. If we wasn't going to stay there 6 years, we need to be upfront about it. But I also one that goes, hello, McFly. And somebody, I saw your feed the other day, and somebody hit up on there that we shouldn't have been there, and all this other stuff. And, and I'm sitting there going, why? We took the government out. We took the enemy out. We should have been there. But we should have had a plan afterward. And I heard somebody say, well, we needed to bring the troops home because the suicide rate. Well, suicide rate's been that way since freaking World War I. We just started documenting it really well the last 30 damn years. That hasn't really changed that much. It's just ugly. It's always been ugly. And we hadn't put a dent in it, to be honest. Divorces.
Right.
Hell, there's been divorces in the military constantly. I hate to say that. That hasn't changed. So all that's hyperbole, and it's a crock of shit. And then I heard somebody say the morale. I said, oh, so you want to talk about morale? What about my soldiers and my peers and my friends that fought over in Afghanistan and lost some comrades? Now you just took the tail and run because you had no backup plan. This is my deal, though, is with the plan. They said, well, we didn't need a plan. No, we expect that from, I don't know, the local Sonic not having a plan when a tornado comes. We expect that from, I don't know, Harbor Freight when there's a flood. We do not expect that from our elected officials, nor do we expect that from any military official that's in the strategic planning phase, not to have a plan to deal with this for second and third order effects. That is what we do in the military. If I didn't plan for any contingency at my rank for what my unit would have to do, then I would look like an asshole. I'm just saying.
Well, last thing I want to say on this, because I know we're running short on time, is this. You're right. There had to be a plan. And you know what the plan was? The plan was, we're leaving on this day, you guys, and we've trained you well enough, and you bad guys know that we're leaving then, and bad guys are not going to do anything, because we're saying to bad guys, you're not going to do anything, right? You're on our team. You agreed. We signed that agreement with you, right? Who in the heck has ever been able to negotiate with terrorists and win? You don't negotiate with terrorists. You don't negotiate with terrorists. Let me say it again. You don't. And when you try to negotiate with terrorists, it always backfires, because they sit in their little cave or tent and laugh at you, because they go, they believed us again. And that's what they did with Obama. That's what they did with Jimmy Carter. That's what they're doing now. And what's going to happen is, in 6 months, when they blow up something that has Western people in it, and some reporter's going to have the balls to say, well, Biden, do you believe this was because of your job? He's going to blame it on the bad guys then, when he should be blaming the bad guys now. Well,
currently, his administration is blaming the previous president. Hello, you took over on Inauguration Day. It is all on you. And, Coach, you heard me say it many times. To trust the Democrats to execute foreign policy is like Pee Wee League playing the NFL when NFL is going full sprint at you. They don't know how to do it. They have proven it time and time again. I mean, Jimmy Carter's proven it with the hostages. Obama proved it in Iraq. Obama proved it with goddamn freaking Bergdahl trading for terrorists, and Biden is going, hold my beer, mother flippers. I'm going to one up all you guys, because I'm going to show you exactly how not to do it, and I'm going to do it from the front.
Yep. I mean, you're right. I mean, nothing else I can say on it. We know the outcome. We know what was going to happen when he was elected, that he was going to be exactly like the boy before. And you're just going to get the same thing when foreign policy coming. All those dictators sitting back going, election's over. We got us another Obama. Hey, let's just wait a few months.
What did the former staffer that was, I think he was the Secretary of Defense. I mean, I might be wrong on that. Okay. But he held a very high position. But what did he say about President Biden when he was not president, when he was vice president? That every foreign policy decision that he's had input in, he has completely missed it. Wow. It hasn't changed. It hasn't changed. Well,
it's not like we were voting. Yeah, it's not like we were voting for a better one. We voted for one that wasn't Trump. There you go. Let's do this.
That's it. Hey, Taliban, guess what? You're not getting no mean tweets, but you got a goddamn country. So I don't know what to say about that.
And he's going to whisper to you. He's going to whisper like this. He's going, please, Taliban, don't blow us up.
This is a shame. This is a mockery on our system.
Get me out of here. Get me out of here before I curse again.
I'm about to, but I got to say one thing. I heard people sit there and say, hey, President Trump embarrassed our nation of how he handled the Russians and da-da-da-da. This is not even a freaking anthill compared to what Biden just did. We have lost so much credibility across the globe. It will take, just like Vietnam did, it will take a desert storm 30 years later to overcome this. So anyway,
crickets is what you're hearing from the. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So I will say this.
All right.
From the coach.
And to the vet.
It's time to stay tuned. Stay tuned.
I was going to say it. I messed it.